Biohazard warning. Entering contaminated zone.
Hey guys, Jacob here. As you know, it is June 4, 2020, and this is going to be the Phase 3 for the PTS and TU10. I'm not going to cover every single thing, but I'm going to cover most of the stuff. That way you guys get most of the general ideas of what they're changing, but I'm going to get right into it. First is going to be the gameplay changes for general. Increased rifle-based ammo capacity by 50% from 280 to 420. Gunner specialization, emplacement talent, weapon handling bonus reduced from 15 to 10. UI text has not been updated, will stay 15% in the talent description. Appears they've reverted the increase to base and PC's status effect resistance and heroic and legendary difficulties during PTS Phase 2. Let's see. Loot. Loot containers part of Living World and activities now scaled to global difficulty. Next is going to be the exotics, which I know you guys are mostly interested in, which the first one is going to be the exotic assault rifle called the Bighorn. Big Game Hunter headshots now grant 2% headshot damage up from 1%. Increased optical range from 27 meters to 40 meters. Optics mod bonus increased from 0% to 30% headshot damage. Magazine mod bonus changed from 7% headshot damage to 10% reload speed. The Mantis, which is going to be the new exotic sniper rifle, optic mod bonus increased from 35 to 40% headshot damage. The muzzle mod bonus changed from 7% headshot damage to 5% crit chance. Now highlights weak points when aiming through the scope, which that's very cool because now you can actually see what you're shooting at, and that way you can target heavy weak points and other stuff like that. Nemesis, which I know this is the one a lot of people have been asking about, or at least asking me about. Optics mod bonus increased from 35 to 45% headshot damage, so it appears they've gave this a buff. Underbarrel mod bonus reduced from 15% to 5% weapon handling, so they've reduced the underbarrel mod bonus. Now the Chameleon. This is the big one. A lot of you guys were asking me in the previous PTS. I got messages on my Xbox and a bunch of other things. People were asking me how they've changed this, and you think they'll change it again. By the looks of it, they have. Adaptive instincts increase the number of hits required to gain body shots buff from 60 to 75. So instead of being 60, which the magazine only has 50 alone, they've now increased it to 75. So now you're going to have to hit it even higher, and increase its weapon damage bonus from 80% to 90%. So this is way higher. They did increase it to 90, so you'll be able to go up pretty high in damage with this. They've changed the optics as well. Optic mod bonus changed from 15% accuracy to 15% critical chance. Because overall you were getting crit chance, I think it was 15 total, so they did change that. Muzzle's been changed from 5% crit chance to 10% accuracy. And the underbarrel is from changed 10% crit chance to 10% stability. Binary trigger on the Merciless and Ruthless has been amplified weapon damage at 7 stacks from 900 to 500, and the explosion damage from 1200 to 500. And I kind of saw this coming due to the fact those were some pretty high numbers. Muzzle mod bonus reduced from 20% to 10%. Underbarrel reduced from 20% to 10% weapon handling, and the magazine mod reduced from 15 to 10% reload speed. Now the Eagle Bear underbarrel mod changed from 10% stability to 10% weapon handling. Lady Death, Breathe Free, lowered the amount of maximum stacks to 40 to 32, increased the damage amplified per stack from 60 to 75. So they reduced the stacks number, but they amplified it per stack. Optics mod bonus increased from 5% to 10% crit chance. That's really nice. Muzzle mod bonus changed from 5% crit chance to 5% critical hit damage. And the underbarrel mod changed from 5% critical damage to 500% melee damage. So if you're going to be running this with the claws out holster, you can get a lot of melee damage on this gun. Next is going to be the Pestilence, which has muzzle mod bonus changed from 10% stability to 10% accuracy. Underbarrel mod changed from 10% weapon handling to 10% stability, so it appears they've just flipped these, I guess. Chatterbox, optics mod bonus increased from 5% to 15% critical chance, so that's a 10% buff to critical chance. Muzzle mod bonus changed from 10% critical chance to 5% critical damage. Underbarrel is now 15 to 10% weapon handling. The magazine mod bonus changed from 10% reload speed to plus 10 rounds, so now you'll have 10 extra rounds in the gun. And the magazine base capacity reduced from 60 to 50. Liberty, optics mod bonus changed from 5% critical chance to 5% critical, or 5% headshot damage, my bad. Muzzle mod bonus changed from 15% stability to 5% critical chance. Magazine mod bonus changed from 15% reload speed to 15% weapon handling. No longer highlights weak points when aiming. Next is going to be the Regulus, which is the new pistol. Muzzle mod bonus changed from 5% critical damage to 20% accuracy. And the Foundry Bulwark, which, as you guys know, was actually one of the most broken gear sets in the PTS or I've ever seen in Division. in general, because you literally were a god and you could not kill each other when people were wearing this. If you don't believe me, look at some videos out there. You'll find them on the PTS of how OP this set was. Makeshift Repairs, repair over time, effect reduced from 40% of the damage taken over to 20% over 15 seconds. Improved materials now increase makeshift repairs by 20% to 30% over 15 seconds. Process refiner increases makeshift repair speed from 15 seconds to 10. And it's kind of weird because this is exactly what I said they were going to do back when I was on a party with a few of my friends. I kind of figured they would change this to 20 to 30 and also change the 40% taken to 20%. But that's how they've changed the Foundry Bulwark. Brand sets. Incoming repair brand set bonus increased from 15 to 20% on 5.11. So they've changed that to 20%. Richter and Kaiser was also as well. Which, as you guys know, in the previous update, they did buff the brand sets for healing. Weapons, Carbine 7, C-Tart, and PX. You guys can see the damage increase and damage reduction. Now the Seeker Mines, which I know this is one you guys have been asking about as well. Seeker Mines, which is the Cluster Seeker Mine, target accuracy improved. It said, I'll read this a little bit for you guys. Developer comment: the Seeker Mine is not intended to be an accurate as explosive variant. When its turn distance, the target is locked to the location it is aiming at, continues towards it regardless of where the original target agent has moved to. So they've messed with this a bit, so it's a little bit more easy to use. Hive, Stinger Hive base damage reduced to negative 20%. Stinger Hive bonus per skill that increased from 10% to 20% skill tier. So it appears, since I guess they did a reduction on bleed, I guess, in the previous PTS, if you guys remember, I think they kind of increased this to the skill tier. That way you have to have max skill tier to make a true stats effect build by the looks of it. I'm not sure. Restore Hive now gains 5% drone flight speed per skill tier. Right Foam Chem Launcher and Snares duration bonus per skill tier reduces from 20% to 10%. Firefly, Binder Firefly, blind duration bonus skill tier reduced from 20 to 10%. Blinder Firefly base blind duration reduced from 6 seconds to 5 seconds. Pulse, Banshee Pulse base confused duration reduced from 5 to 4. Jammer Pulse disrupt duration reduced from 4 to 3. Shock Trap, which I don't see this actually a lot, reduced from 5 to 3 seconds. PvP duration remains unchanged. Shock Trap base radius increased from 2 meters to 2.5 meters. Scroll down, you guys. If you want to read through this, you guys can go through the PTS, or I'll go through it slowly. You guys can read it yourself and just pause the video. And PvP. This is where a lot of you guys were asking as well. Foundry Bulwark. Makeshift repairs overtime effectively reduced by negative 50% in PvP. Weapons. Shotgun PvP damage reduced by 12.5%. Pistol PvP damage reduced by 10%. Merciless and Ruthless, binary trigger amplified damage, explosive damage reduced by negative 50% in PvP. Not surprised by that. Skills: Firestarter Chem Launcher PvP damage reduced by 20%. Stinger Hive PvP damage increased by 20%, scaling up to 65% at skill tier 6. Negative 55%, negative 10% from the PTS. So it still got 20%, scaling up to 65% at skill tier 6. Striker Dome PvP increased by 30%, 20% increase from PTS 2. Assault Turret damage increased by 55%, 25% increase from PTS 2. Bug fixes, these are some of the standard stuff that usually they fixed in the previous one. You guys can go through these and look at them. Known issues. You guys are curious about those. But overall, that's going to be it for the Phase 3 PTS, and this is going to be the stuff they're going to be testing this weekend. It's not a lot, but it's a pretty decent amount of information. I know most of you guys were asking about the Nemesis, and also asking if you think they changed the Chameleon, and it appears they have. They've also reverted back the NPCs and stuff as well through specific archetypes in Phase 3. But that's going to be really about it. But thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more Division 2 content. If you guys want to check out these notes yourself, you guys can use basically the Ubisoft forums and you'll find them. But as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.
PTS!